a man can bear any how if he has a strong enough why, something like that, right? So when a man has a sense of purpose that is strong enough and they know why they're doing things, they can suffer through a lot. I think that is true. And I also think if a man feels like, I'm almost cringe saying this word, but I think it's true for me. And like at almost 40, I'm like, okay saying it. I think if a man also feels appreciated and important and a little bit admired for the effort he puts in, so not just noticed, but noticed and celebrated. Maybe not celebrated in like a huge lavish way, but celebrate me some. Make it known that the effort is special and it is noticed. I think men will go so far. And it's not just that they will bite down and keep their head down and grit through it. They will willingly and happily do the thing of like, I'm going to go out and just do this for my family and all that. And I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard. I'm going to work so hard and I'm going to come home and be present for my wife and my kids and all that. I'm not completed with that thought yet, but the word might be admiration or celebration or
But that is not a male specific thing. That's every human, right? Like every woman could do the household chores and take care of all the kids' activities and do like every single chore there is to do in the house.
Is that the women's work?
That's a lot of times what we end up doing, okay? Sometimes. They could do all that as well if the husband just said, I'm so glad that you managed to make the house peaceful with the kids today. Like, thanks for breaking up that fight or whatever it is, right? It's the same thing. It's just a tiny bit of notice or celebration goes a long way, right? It's not specific.
I mean, on that note, one of the things that I do appreciate most about you and the house that we have, the home that we have, is that it's very peaceful and it's warm and it's calm. And with 2 kids and chaotic lives, it's difficult to maintain that. But that's
and one of the things I appreciate about you is that you make sure that we have all the food in the house, which typically is the female job. Just kidding. But we were saying how more and more these days men are into the food and actually the ones cooking and taking care of the food part of things. But yeah, we really appreciate having yummy food. And sometimes Michaela and I will find a snack and we'll be like, let's tell Papa how yummy this one is.
Thank you for noticing. I do think that's an interesting one to go down. Anecdotally, with our friend groups and our social groups, we've noticed that most women don't cook.
Yeah. In our friendship group, most of the men are the ones who cook.
Yeah, and even if women can cook, they're not as good of cooks. And even if their mothers were really good cooks, they didn't learn the skills. And like something happened in this generation where, and maybe the younger generation too, I don't know. What do you think happened there? Do you think it's just like, actually, I don't know. I don't actually have any like working theories on it.
I think maybe men realized how many women they can score by just cooking them a good meal. And so they all took it upon themselves as this easy hack.
It was definitely part of it for me. Also, no, in my household, actually, that's the way love is shown. And so from a young age, I realized that, oh, this is quite cool. And because I love food, it became a thing. I learned to cook from my mother.
And I wonder if also for females, there's a bit of a rebellion of like, I don't have to be the one who cooks. Right? Because at a certain point, it's expected of women. You must know how to cook.
Yeah.
So then maybe once they got this okay to not cook, then they're like, well, I'm taking that. I don't have to, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because it's not like the gender roles need to be as they are just because that's how it was done. But I think at some point in time, there was value to the gender roles and how clearly defined they were because there was work to be done and the work needed to be split, right? I guess I would imagine maybe some of the gender role stuff came from when we had to hunt and then we had to grow our own food, we had to whatever, and there was like harder physical stuff that had to be done. And because typically men were doing that, there were other sort of like maybe
Be careful what you say.
I was gonna say nurturing, but I was thinking like and cleaning fall into nurturing?
Yeah.
But anyway, so like there was a split of roles, right?
Yeah.
And so then what happens now? If I'm a single young guy who is kind of trying to figure out the dating world and what to look for in a partner, well,
I think that you should look for a partner who has strengths in areas that you don't have strengths in, so that both parties can take on the chores or take on the tasks that they enjoy doing and are naturally better at. Now, it's pretty impossible to get an exact split, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do some shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah, so you will have to, but you generally do enjoy food and cooking, right? And I don't, so that works great. I generally love like doing stuff with the kids, like activities like teaching them biking or swimming or whatever.
Yeah.
And that works great for me. And I also don't mind driving them around to places and stuff which you don't like doing, right? So something like that where your natural strengths and authentic self gets to do.
I feel like we got lucky there, right? We just happened to fall into, and like, oh, thank goodness, like we can roughly cover most of the stuff.
Did we?
No, was it like an active selection process
it wasn't active, but maybe we got along because those things were true.